new friend. She's contacted me because I do US accent coaching as well, and she's going to New York and wanted to just have a session. But it turns out that Sarah and I have 1 million people in common. Where is your resume? I have it somewhere.
Isn't that French?
So she did, she's trained, why did you tell us where you're trained? Why don't you tell us how old you are?
Okay.
Why you would decide to become an actor and some of the training that you've done so far.
Yeah. Well, I'm 20, and I decided I wanted to do acting when I was about 13. And it was actually when I saw The Princess Diaries. So I kind of started watching films, and I was a really big Anne Hathaway fan.
And where were you living?
I was in Sydney.
In Sydney.
Yeah. So. Yeah. Oh, awesome. Yeah. So I kind of just loved watching films, and I loved that it took you to another world. That like you're stepping into someone else's shoes, and you get to inspire people and tell stories. And then, yeah, I just love that part of acting and being someone else. Yeah, so when I was 13, I kind of went to NIDA, the National Institute of Dramatic Art, and did their open courses. Spent my teenage years there doing everything from Shakespeare to comedy to physical theatre. Then I did some courses at ATYP, which is the Australian Theatre for Young People, did a few master classes with them. And then when I was 19, so this was last year, I decided that I would go to New York for 2 weeks and go to the American Academy of Dramatic Arts, which I'm now going to do their full-time program next year. But yeah, I just decided to go to New York and do a 2-week course in audition technique and see what the industry was over there. And
what was that like, as someone who's, as a foreigner? Like, if we wanted to go, like, from Fiji, so, and you can tell us your Fiji connection as well.
Oh yeah, my mum is Fijian, so my whole family on mum's side lives here, and so I've come here regularly since I was a little baby to visit family and spend Christmas here. So I always have a connection to Fiji.
So when you want to apply for a course like that, like the ADA course, how does that happen?
Yeah, so you do have to put in, for the summer courses, you have to put in like, they give you questions, so why you want to do the course, what training you've had, and then you kind of hear back within a week whether you got accepted or not. But generally, everyone will be accepted if you have a passion for it, and it's not just like, oh, this is fun, I'm gonna try it. Like, you have to really want to do it, because it's a very rough 2 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so now when you're going back in October, right?
So I'm going back in October to do a month masterclass with Lindsay Mendez and Ryan Scott Oliver, who are Broadway performers. And then next year, I'm moving to New York to study for 2 years.
And do you get, like, do you get an associate's degree, or is there a degree?
A conservatory degree certificate.
Certificate.
Yeah.
Does everyone understand what that means? So I went to New York University, which is a 4-year liberal arts university, so I guess it's like going to USP. Because you get a degree at the end of USP, right? You get your bachelor's of whatever. Yeah? Yeah. But
Yes.
she's going to a conservatory program, so it's slightly different.
Yeah.
It's a certificate program.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Cool. Have you ever studied overseas? But you've traveled overseas and performed. Yeah. So where have you been recently overseas?
To Europe, to the UK, to China, to America, Las Vegas, LA, Las Vegas.
And did you get to do any classes while you were traveling, or is it all just work? Yeah. Has anybody else done any classes, either in Fiji or anywhere else in the world, acting classes or dance classes?
Only classes.
What'd you do?
We did dancing at the bowl.
Dancing at a boat? Cool. Yeah. And that's the great thing about Suva, is that there are actually quite a lot of opportunities, especially for young people, to start training as actors, as dancers. I mean, the acting is sort of a little bit new, but drumming, vocal stuff, guitar. I mean, we were having this conversation about. We know a lot of actors because we both sing as well, so we both do musicals as well. But we know a lot of actors who aren't singers and they aren't dancers and they don't do any physical training, and it blows my mind.
Like, you have to do it. I mean, even if you're not a dancer at all and you have 2 left feet, get yourself to a dance class or work out, do yoga, just do something.
Most people who are like in Disney, they mostly do voice acting, just that, right?
Like in the movies, like in the Disney movies.
Yeah, most.
A lot of them do like acting as themselves as well as voice acting.
I know.
Yeah.
That's what I meant. I meant like people who have like literally no training do voice acting.
No, you have to have a lot of training to do voice acting. Voice acting is actually super specific and super hard. It's something that I've never been able to crack into.
Oh, no.
You sort of like train specifically to be a voice actor a lot of the time. Unless you're like a famous actor like, you know, Jennifer Lopez or somebody like that.
But then they're still using just their own voice.
Yeah.
It's not, yeah.
I do that a lot of my videos when I do stuff.
Cool. So you use different voices.
Sometimes, yeah.
Cool.
It's normally just me though, because I can't really do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, there are recording sessions with anyone else.
Awesome. Well, actually, let's talk a little bit about social media, YouTube, other platforms that you use to promote yourself as an up-and-coming actor.
Yeah. So the first thing I'd probably recommend is to get your own website, which was something I learned when I went to New York. And I was doing an acting class, and my teacher was like, "You all need a website." And I find in Australia, it's a thing where lots of my actor friends don't have that because they're like, "Oh, we have to be established first and have a professional credit." But I think having that, it's so great because you can put your resume on there, you can put photos, your show reel, and you can have like a little contact in case like an agent was to come across it, they can directly email you. And it's also a great thing to send when you are going to see agents to be like, "Hey, I have a website as well, check it out," because it literally has everything on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a YouTube, you can put videos on there,
That's what I do.
show reels, yeah, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And good headshots as well.
Let's talk about headshots, should we?
Oh, shall we?
But before we get to that, yeah. So Sarah has a great website. If you get a chance, what's the
What's it called?
address? Is it
Sarah
just
Leigh
Sarah?
Carroll Actress.
Sarah Leigh Carroll, Leigh.
Yeah.
Actress
At Wix.com.
at Wix.com.
It's a free website, so it's all good. You can
Yeah.
start off with it.
Did you
Mine.
use that one?
Sorry?
Did you use that one with the W logo?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's actually a pretty good website. My school
Yeah.
uses it.
And I use Weebly, so I pay for my domain name, but mine's mattyoungactor.com. So if you want to have a look at either of our websites, they're really interesting. Sarah's is great. She's got a lot of photographs of her on it. I mean, again, like we'll talk about, I hope you don't mind, but I'll talk about your resume. It's over there. Sarah doesn't have a lot of performances that she's been in on her resume, but she has a lot of training. But the performances she does have on her resume are pretty awesome. So she did this, there's a theater company in Sydney called Belvoir, which is like a lot of famous actors work there. And you had the opportunity to do Oedipus Medipus, which was, you had to speak one line, is that right?
Yeah, it was literally like a volunteer-based production. And it was, I think you know Post. Yeah. And basically they called out for just anyone to just come and be in their show. And they literally, like, you'd rehearse like a few hours before and they'd give you, like there were screens and they'd give you a number. And then when you came out on stage, it might say like number 1 and it'll tell you what to say or like what to do. Like it'd be like number 2, do the chicken dance, and you just do it. But you get to do it at Belvoir, which is like a really prestigious theatre in
I don't
Sydney,
have a credit at Belvoir.
So I was like,
I'm
I will
so
take
jealous.
that.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. So yeah, so that's just, and again, because, and how did you find out about that? Was that through social media?
Yeah, I think, social media, just researching opportunities every week.
Yeah.
Just being like, acting classes Sydney or acting opportunities. Also, I don't know if you have here, but like in Australia we have a lot of Facebook groups, like Actors in Sydney or Australian Arts Opportunities, and those groups will have lots of people posting.
Do we have any groups like that in Fiji?
Well, you should.
We have, like, we're part of like some
Apart
close
from
groups, right?
your group,
I think Bo and Rocco.
this one.
Yeah, they have community groups. Yeah,
Those two.
yeah.
One of my friends go to.
But you're right, because I actually use those all the time. I was just in LA, and I actually got a feature film audition from being in the Australians, like on the Australians in LA Facebook group. They said, "Oh, casting by Friday. Send us your information," and then I had an audition. So there you go. Yeah. So anybody in this room could start a group if you're interested and be like. I know there's a couple of them. There's like a Fiji filmmakers group, I think, that I'm a part of. But I don't think there is anyone really for actors. So if anyone feels
Today's the
inspired,
day.
you can, if you have your parents' permission or your parents' permission, you can start a group. It's a great way to start to build a community here. All right, cool. And also, of course, you can also follow this acting club is called Tukuna, Tukuna, and so you can look at us and you can follow the page and find out about the classes here and about things that are happening all over Suva. And I also put interesting articles, things that I find interesting, or videos on that as well. All right, do you have to go? All right.
Thank you so much.
No worries.
It's really great.
All right, let's talk about pictures and resumes.
Yay!
I actually brought I've got a bunch. So this is my new picture. So this was done here in Suva. Conrad Thorpe took my picture here at the Playhouse, actually. This is what you send to a casting director either electronically or through the mail. And it's important that your picture looks like you, right? So I mean, I think this one's pretty good because I'm wearing the same shirt. But I mean, I'd say that this looks like me. And that's actually super important because a lot of people, it's not like Instagram or, whatever, like you don't want to have crazy makeup on and look like you're a supermodel. You want to look like, a human so that when you walk into the room, they can recognize you from your picture. And everybody still, in New York and in LA, everyone still uses pictures and resumes. Like it's not just a digital thing. It's still old school.
In Sydney, it's more of a digital thing. It's
Yeah.
more of just send your resume and your photo.
But in America, no. So I'm going to send around, this is the New York style or the LA style. So what you do is you have your 8x10 photograph. This is my picture from 5 years ago, 6 years ago.
I thought that was from 1980. You look awesome.
Thanks. It's from 2009. That was done in LA. That was shot in LA.
Because you had
And then-
hair on the top.
Matt still looks awesome.
If I dyed my hair, it would look like I had hair. And
awesome.
so this is the resume on the back. So it says things like my name, my contact information, my union affiliation. So I'm a Screen Actors Guild member, an Actors Equity Association member. My height, my weight, my eyes, my hair color, my training. Because I have a lot of credits here, my training is not as big. But if you don't have a lot of credits, then your training is a bigger part of it. And actually, classes. I'm just going to pass this around. Classes. Just take one and pass them around, Michael. Classes are super popular in LA. When I first went to LA in 2001, then again in 2009, it wasn't that important to be in an acting class. Now you go to LA and everybody wants to know who you're studying with. It's like, if you're not studying, people are like, well, why are you even bothering to even come?
Which is a very interesting thing because when I went to New York, I found that my acting teacher was like, if you want to be in the game, you have to be taking classes because everyone is in America, but back home, it's become a common thing where once people finish full-time training, that's it. A lot of my friends are like, oh, you don't really need to do a class. Like they'll do one once a month.
Yeah.
But in the US, they're constantly working, which is great.
And I think also in the US, in LA, there's so many opportunities. So you can go on, or in New York, I used to go on 4 auditions in one day in New York. I'd go to 2 dance calls, a singing call, and an acting call, all in one day. And I didn't even have an agent. That was just me finding my own work through the trade newspaper.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
You don't have that in Australia.
Yeah, no. In Australia, there's not as many opportunities.
Yeah.
In Fiji,
Well,
sadly, there's even fewer. But, yeah. So anyway, so just to talk about pictures and resumes, do you want to talk about when you first had a picture done in a resume and how you decided? How did you research it? How did you decide how to do it?
I was probably 17, so it was a bit later on. And I kind of just researched headshot photographers in Sydney and did a lot of research into a certain style, because there's lots of different kind of styles of headshots. First time I got my headshots done, they were horrendous. And it was I don't show them to anyone. It's I can't believe I paid for that. And I think because I feel like with headshots you need to have a good relationship with the photographer, because it's quite an intimate experience. It's someone taking photos of your head. It's you have to be comfortable in front of the camera. And the first photographer I had was just he was just rushed, and it was yeah, do this, do that. And then so obviously my shots showed that I was really uncomfortable. So then next time around I just kind of researched a little more, asked my friends who they had their shots done with, and then finally found someone. Yeah.
And again, if you go on her website, you can look at a variety of the shots
Yeah,
that,
there's, like,
she uses. The shot I used to promote this event is your standard
Yeah.
shot.
You used to be a boxer?
Pardon?
You used to be a boxer?
I do box fit.
That's awesome.
So, yeah, in Australia, like, actually, who has me wearing a blue shirt? Yeah. So this is the picture that my Australian agent liked. So I'm not smiling. It's just sort of like standard, like straight down the camera. And who has the green shirt? Hold up the green shirt. That one, I've got a bit more of a smile. It's a bit more casual. This is more of my TV commercial headshot for LA. Or my music theater shot. So when you get your photos taken, it depends on what sort of work you're looking for as well. So if you want to be, you know, like that would be my Bollywood headshot, definitely. Like, because it shows my physicality, you know, it's sort of like the headshot that I have now, the one that I showed at the beginning, I use for everything now. But yeah, you sort of use different headshots for different styles as well. And what about formatting your resume? How did you feel when you had to put down all of your experience for the first time in a resume?
Great.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's like, what do you mean? Like,
I don't know, were you nervous? Like, oh, I don't have any credits? Or...
Oh, yeah, I mean, I think when you're starting out, it's a bit like, because when you look at like your resume, which has all these credits that are like, you know, professional credits, it's a bit like, yeah, there's my 3, and then there's just like a whole half a page of training. But I think when you're starting out, that's all you can do. And I think getting good training and networking with like good teachers and stuff. And like you said, like when you put that on your resume, you've worked with friends that teachers that I've had. And you know, when you go into a casting director, they might look at that and go, oh, they trained with this person.
Absolutely.
They must be good.
And you know what else we do when we're casting? And this is actually super important to know, you know, in Fiji or anywhere. If Kiana comes in for an audition for me as an actor, I would absolutely, if I liked her, I would absolutely call Sachiko and be like, so what's she really like? You know what I mean? Like, what's it like to work with her?
They talk, yeah. Everyone.
My friend Kat Hoyas is on Meet the Habibs in Australia. I've worked with her a couple of times, and the first time she auditioned for me, I immediately picked up the phone and called someone that she had just worked with, someone that was on her resume. And I was like, Paul, tell me more about Kat. I said, because she seems really great, and I want to use her. But directors don't want to work with actors that that are hard to work with, or that are mean, or that they don't, you know, that aren't going to be respectful. Like, it's, everybody, we totally call around all the time.
I hate actors like that.
Yeah. Cool. And then I sort of briefed what I wanted to talk about, and we've talked about a lot of it. This is sort of like the business of acting sort of talk. Was there anything else that I mentioned that we haven't talked about, or anything that you want to share? And then we'll take a couple of questions.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Nothing at the moment. I think you've covered all areas.
Yeah. It was super important for me to have Sarah in, so that because she's, you know, around your age, all of your ages, because I know sometimes, because I'm 44 and because I've had the good fortune to be able to live in lots of different places, like I can be like blah 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 as much as I want about like how to become an actor, but it's nice to have someone, you know, who has a Fijian connection and who's also close to your age. Because I was thinking about the first time that I put down a resume when I moved to New York, and I put down like all of the things I had done in high school. So it's like high school stuff and church plays and stuff, that all went on my resume. And I wouldn't say like Gardner High School, I'd say like GHS Musical Society. Or
you make it sound really fancy.
So that sounded like something else. But ultimately, if you're 16 and you walk into a casting, people aren't going to expect for you to have a list of credits as long as you're on. They're going to want to see who your acting teachers are, you know, things like that.
But I mean, I think it's good, like when you guys are starting young, to just start getting out there and training, even if it's just in this class. Like, this is amazing. Like, you know, you're gonna have Matt Young on your resume now. I think, just having that and just getting out there. If you really want to do it, it'll happen. So
and also the YouTube. So I'm a huge advocate of producing your own content for YouTube. I was actually in a taxi in LA, and the guy who was driving me, I said, "Oh, well, what else do you do other than drive a taxi?" He said, "Well, I'm a musician." He said, I was studied to be a sports massage therapist. He said, and then I moved to LA, and I put a video of me, like I put videos on Instagram of him playing and singing, and Drake just picked up one of his things off Instagram and sampled it for his new album.
Yeah.
Just because this dude put it on the internet, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I was like, that's crazy, but it actually does happen.
It does. I think now more it happens, especially with social media.
Yeah.
I mean, even like doing your own self-tape, so like filming, like even learn a monologue, get it done. Maybe see someone to coach it with you, but then as long as you have like a really plain background, like just here, a camera set up, and then just perform the monologue, upload it.
Yeah.
And you already have some like showreel content,
Absolutely.
something to show.
And like when if a movie or a TV show comes to Fiji, so Ben worked on a reality show, doing some cruise stuff, but they want to know that you actually have some experience. It was what I was saying earlier about like, oh, you're an actor, can I hear your monologue? You know, it's one thing to say that you are an actor or that you want to be an actor, but if you want to be an actor, like in this the business side now,
Yeah.
you tape yourself doing something and you
Yeah.
put it on your own social media or on YouTube.
Yeah. And I think
YouTube.
Yeah, and I think another thing I've noticed, like back home in Sydney, we have like Showreels Australia. So they're companies that would do a professional showreel for you, but it costs like about $1,000.
Yeah.
And I was talking to one of my acting teachers. She used to teach at NIDA, and she was like she was looking at these showreels coming out. And she was like, they're like kind of horrible. Like,
Yeah.
she was like, it's all about the set. But she was like, all you need to do is just do a monologue, do a self-tape, plain background, show who you are, and done, and it's free.
Absolutely.
So yeah.
So some of the stuff that I want to do, we've done some filming, haven't we, Aiden, with you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Have I filmed? I've done TV tests, right? I've definitely done some filming with you. So some of the stuff that we do in this class as well is I'll just take out my iPhone and I'll just film. And we'll do like one day I was like, oh, we should practice ads. So we had to all like pretend to take a bite of the hamburger. Remember that one? I think I posted that on social media. Yeah, so just so that you know that. And also I am looking at working with the senior group to make a short film at the end of the year as well. Just so that you know that. But again, you don't have to wait for me to do it. Like you can just get together with your friends or with the other acting students and you can
That's what I
create
did.
your own content. Yeah, absolutely. Cool.
Yeah.
All right, does anybody have any questions for Ms. Sarah Carroll?
I forgot what I was going to say. Darn it. Sorry.
That's okay.
So Sarah, when was it first gig and how did you feel doing it?
My first, so my first kind of play I did with the National Institute of Dramatic Art, NIDA, and it was in their open program, and it was Antigone, so Greek play, and that was the first, like I'd done school stuff before that, where I was like, you know, in the background or like one role, but this was the first role where, you know, I auditioned at NIDA, and they were like, yeah, so we want to just give you like the supporting lead, and I was like, I was actually in Fiji when I got the role, isn't it? Yeah. I was like actually in Fiji, and I'm like, oh my god, I think it's very exciting, and I think it was just kind of like that for me. It was a moment where I was like, okay, maybe I can do this. It's possible. But yeah, it was really exciting.
Yeah, and there's pictures of her in the role on the website as well.
Check it out.
Any other questions? You can ask me questions too if anybody has questions for me. Any other questions? How are we going for time?
I do not know the time.
What time is it? 25 to 5? Cool. All right, well, once again, I would like to thank you very much for you to take your time out of your sort of holiday or whatever to come and do it, you know, be in the acting class and to share your experience.
This is so great. I love this.
Yeah, thank you.
It's a good class, yeah.
Thanks. Yeah. So, so there you go. And every once in a while, if I have friends in, I will bring them to this class. So you never know. Like some days you'll rock up here, and I'll be like, oh yeah, here's Evan Bird. You know, he just did a movie with, you know, Robert Patterson from Twilight. Remember when Evan was here?
Yep.
And there were like 4 people in the class, and they were like, oh, who's this guy? I was like, well.
The LA Anthony?
Yeah, Anthony Miles, the acting coach, and my friend Tyler Burness, who's also has family in Fiji.
Oh, nice.
He's on an HBO show right now. Yeah, so you never know. Although I do try to advertise it so that you do know. Cool. All right, well, let's give Sarah a big hand. All right, let's take a quick break.